I'm more nervous for this than I thought I would be, but here we go. Do you ever feel like life is a board game? Except you haven't really played before, the pieces are live, angry hornets, the board is on fire, and someone just rewrote the whole rulebook to be in Russian.
Yeah, that's a big move.
I've often had this feeling. It's like my life has been one constant uphill battle away from being broken down and embittered or driven completely off the plot. As though everything about my life has screamed stop and give up, and at every turn I've had to shout back, no, screw you, and try to maneuver as the bees keep stinging me the very best I can. The second I was born, this battle of gallows humor began, and I learned my most important lesson for the fight. Instead of letting out a hearty baby cry, I hiccuped. My lungs had collapsed. Seconds into my life, I almost died, but several doses of a drug the hospital had just before been certified to use saved me. The universe has this fantastic way of slowing gravity just before you hit the rocks. Things will rarely ever be as bad as they possibly could be. That doesn't mean they're not hard. For the better part of a month after that, they weren't sure if I'd live. I fought. My family has always called me their warrior, a lone wolf and individualist. Strong-willed, they'd say. I had to be, to get through everything from the start. I wish that could have also been the end, the last struggle, but things didn't work out that way. First, there was friendless elementary school, then watching my mother get debilitatingly sick through no fault of her own. Then there were the strings of mental illness, the throes of being a fiercely individual thinker, and finally the heaviest weight, my own body turning on me. Who here has ever dislocated a joint? I do that, at least every week, if not every few days, with more minor subluxations more often than that. I was born like this, but the ticking time bomb of my EDS had been waiting inside me, and over the past 4 years decided to hit me in one shot. I got chronic pain, I developed a heart condition, then there was constant fatigue. I grew and grow tired of fighting. That bitter feeling I've been fighting my whole life has almost taken over a few times. At the end of last school year, I felt so alone. I was exhausted, pretty much without friends, barring my partner, and my body hurt. I was tired. The one thing I wanted more than anything was a place where I belonged and a friend. But just before you hit the rocks, the gravity slows. Someone I had just started talking to told me to go check out this thing. It was a battle of the bands, and I, not wanting to go alone, reached out to 2 girls I didn't talk to that often to go with me. It was love at first interaction. Everyone there was so friendly and caring, chatting us up and wanting to learn about us. The music was amazing and the weather was warm. There was real joy there. We were hooked. One of the girls and I proceeded to go to every battle for the rest of that summer, and we bonded and became the very closest of friends. Though we'd known each other for years and had been there for each other before, we finally actually spent time with one another and started going on adventures together. We made 2 other friends that summer at the battles with whom we are also now inseparable. The thing I needed so desperately, that sense of belonging, grew. We began to work with the collective that put on shows there. We 4 were making art together, and we'd crowd into my living room to play loud music, much to the chagrin of my cat. All the loneliness and hate melted until it no longer mattered. Just after things had felt the worst with loneliness, stumbling into one battle of the bands kept things from hitting the very bottom they could go. This is just one example, and though it's not perhaps my biggest example of fighting through the fall towards disillusion, it's the one that made me realize. If you stick around and wait it out, things will never ever hit that dark place you think they'll go. Whatever your fight in life is, because everyone has one, remember for my sake that when it's unmanageable and you think there's only down to fall, just breathe and wait. You won't hit the rocks. It will get better. And for the sake of everyone else, remember that others are also fighting. I'm trying really hard to get better at this myself and to grow the endless patience and positive regard this world needs. Be gentle with each other. Quoting a song by a band, Andrew Jackson Jihad, People are my religion because I believe in them. People are my enemies and people are my friends. I have faith in my fellow man and I only hope that he has faith in me. So now it's my turn for sappy thank yous. Mom, thank you for giving me my fighting spirit and showing me how to push through even when it's hard. And thank you, Dad, for trying to instill a voice of level-headedness into your fiery daughter. Thank you to my grandma for affording me with so many opportunities I wouldn't have otherwise had. Thank you for everyone who has remained patient with me through everything all these years. And lastly, thank you so much to my friends who aren't here, Anne, Tom, Morgan H., and my partner for being my slowing gravity. I love you all from the very bottom of my heart.